Let us introduce training kits from some teknik in Sweden. We have about 15 different training kits. Some are focused on to learn a specific control system, while others are more neutral and can be combined with any control system. We cover most technology within automation and production and so on. This includes PLCs, HMIs, motor controls and so on. Here we have TrainingKit Mechatronics, that is a basic platform where you can teach most of the basic topics like electricity, mechanics, pneumatics, logics, and in the end try with the PLC. Here, for instance, we have a unit where we evaluate the pneumatic air. So we blow a table tennis ball and adjust the pressure and so on. Here we have a sliding plane to get information about the friction and different angles and so on. And in the two last laboratories there is a station for sorting where we identify different kind of materials and we should put them in different places, and it's due to mechanical sensors. So here we find out if it's a bar or a tube and if it's metallic or not. So this laboratory is with PLC, and also the last one is a coffee machine also with a PLC. So we have 7 laboratories in total, and the 2 last one is with PLC. The others are to learn all the basics that's needed to understand how a machine is built. So it's about 20 exercises. The training kit control technology is a station kit where it's much more focused to learn the PLCs and also the HMIs, and it can also be combined into systems, and it can also be combined with robots. So we have some explanations about that. All the training materials are always delivered in digital format. You see here the first one was the table tennis ball while picking it in the air. The second here is the testing station, and we have a natural order for the different stations. So we have 4 stations that can be built in this concept as standard, but of course you can also add things yourself and you can combine them into other kind of stations. But there is 4 stations as standard in the laboratory material. Here is the assembly station. It's a little bit more advanced. We have a shuttle cylinder with positioning with analog ultrasonic sensor, and we have a linear unit with a motor and a simple encoder to understand the positioning technology. So in this case we assemble 5 balls inside a cylinder, and then we put a top on top of it to a finished part. So here we count the pulses for positioning, and then we stop and remove it from the station. Of course, this can be to a next station, to a robot or something like that. Here the units are not in the end position, so we have to pre-position the linear unit. We also have to find the position for the different parts of the shuttle cylinder by analogs. So this is a bit advanced station. The last station is ASRS, Automatic Storage and Retrieval System, and it's also a bit advanced. So it requires a lot from the students, and the students can work in groups of 2 or maybe 3 persons. It requires everything from building the stations, because that is the unique concept of the training kits, that you build stations and create different functions from time to time. So from ID until full functioning station, they will have to learn a lot. In this case we also have some examples how some stations from the control technology can be combined to each other. Here we have the ASRS together with the assembly station. In this case they get all the parts from the shelves of the ASRS, and they are put into the assembly station instead of the magazine. So this requires maybe 2 stations that communicate between each other by a Profinet communication or Profibus or something like that. We have a touch panel also with a data logging function by USB stick. Here we have added some magazines, so we can have parts from different places, from the magazines or from the shelves of the ASRS. So we have a more advanced, so we have to add a lot of sensors to detect what kind of parts. And if it's a wrong kind of part, it has to be handled a different way. So if it's not a cylinder, then we can't put balls inside. We have TrainingKit Lite that is much more focused on different PLCs. There is 5 versions for Siemens, Mitsubishi, for Codesys, and also for simple micro PLCs, and the neutral platform of Automian that can be used for drawing electrical drawings, pneumatic drawings, hydraulics. We can also make programming, all methods, and HMI functions, and so on. Can be used for simulation and also online to the true stations. There are 3 different additional packages for this light kit. So if the basic package is not enough, it can be extended up to the level of control technology, for instance. So in this case we have the basic kit and the additional package 1 for sorting. So here we stop the station, and then we need functions to reset the station. So in this case it's a magazine that is putting the parts to the linear unit. So we have a black button for the reset. We indicate the reset by the white light. Then the station is brought back in front of the magazine, and this is required before the possibility to start by the green button. And the green button, when that's pressed, then we will indicate a full function and normal action by the green light. So here we also have an encoder where we count pulses, so we have to separate the different parts, 3 different types. If needed, we can also combine this with a motor control. This is with the asynchronous motors by 3 phases, but the station is fed by 1 phase. You can use it anywhere. So we have a basic unit with a brake, and we also have a linear belt conveyor like in the control tech, including an asynchronous motor. And this can be combined also by Profibus, Profinet, etc. We have the process control, where we have a lot of different stations that can be bought in packages, but also one by one. So for instance, we have level control by air. So here we have a laser sensor to detect the level, and in this case we run it by Siemens PLC with HMI functions and PLC and so on for learning how to do the process control by PLC. So here we find a specific set point for the level, and then we have to use the PID function, PWN functions, and so on. We can run this by PWM, but also by analog outputs. Here we have a station for level control by water instead, so it's a slower process. Also can be run by PWM, for instance. We also have a motor control station for positioning and speed control, and here we have a balance station for cascade regulation. We also have a more advanced industrial station with level control and flow control and a lot of different things. We have 1 linear tank and 1 non-linear tank. We also have stations where we learn pneumatics for automotive, but also general. It could be standard pneumatics, it could also be with electrical pneumatics. Also in this case it's possible to add 3rd kits so we can create applications. We also have stations where we learn house automation, including KNX and the different communication protocols for houses. Also simulation softwares of the various kinds are available. We can also combine the KNX by PLC cabinet.